All right, thank you for tuning in to another edition of Jive Time Turkeys. I'm A Prince 15 on Twitter. Find your host. Tonight I'm joined by.
What's happening? It's the sideline boy. Sideline thing, second man. That's good people.
All right, what's going on, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in. First thing I wanted to go into is we got sports leagues opening up. First one is the Women's Soccer League. And now that we're in July, the NBA will actually be kicking off at the end of the month. So wanted to throw it to you guys, just kind of what's your general feel outside of uh, the social justice aspect, but just kind of in sports in general, what's your feelings about them starting back up?
I guess I'll go first. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that everybody can stay healthy enough to complete the seasons that we're looking for. I mean, I guess as far as the women's soccer and the basketball, still holding out reservations for. Oh, and baseball started too. You forgot to mention baseball. I think they reported this out reporting today for spring training. But the NFL, I honestly think that's going to be pushed back because this second wave seems like it's going to be crazy. But if these sports are start right now, I think they can get somewhere before that wave comes and it hit hard, I think. But I am generally excited, especially for basketball. Can you describe what generally excitement means for you? Basketball is back. We get to see the completion of this season. A lot on the line this season for certain people. It just because even if we go back, we thought this was going to be one of the best seasons that we've seen in quite a while, and just the completion of that season, just the enthusiasm that I had up through March, um, all that enthusiasm come back. Yeah, the turn. Okay. I'm just ready to see the rest of this movie. Like we know from the past 6 months that whatever's going to happen, something's going to happen. So it's going to be an experience regardless. Like if they pull this off, it'll be one of those like turning moments, or turning points. It's like, oh my God, if we pull this off, it'll be like a miracle on ice. If they pull this off, it actually may propel energy to be a little more positive and an outlook that's brighter for the future. So it could be on some, they saved America type or they saved the globe type energy. That's my hope. Because if they pull it off, that's what will happen. That's beyond a doubt. There's nothing else to do. So there's a lot of hope that you could apply to this moment and take it at a really positive angle and just say, if they really pull this off, the entire world is watching. And yet again, they're to save the day. So I'm gonna keep it at a hero level. And so that's what I'm looking forward to with this. That despite everything we've been through in the past 6 months, it's been a hell of a 6 months. We're at the turning curve of that lap. You know what I'm saying, around this planet, around the sun. So hopefully energy goes in that way. I'm gonna try to speak positive to it, and it's gonna be pulling off. It's gonna be a global event. It's gonna be a miracle and shifts energy. That's what I got.
Well, I think I do echo that. I just yeah, I mean that would be it would be a great point of the movie. It'd be I'm thinking like Miracle on Ice. Remember when that job took us to go see that Miracle on Ice? Yeah, I mean I'm just gonna sit back and watch. Like I don't know either way. Um, I just really want to sit back and watch and see how it goes. I hope for the best because then that affects me, you know, personally as a teacher. So I'll definitely be watching and keeping an eye on it. And of course, us being just regular guys talking about sports, it would definitely give us more content. But even through the pandemic, like the league still found ways for us to be able to talk about them. So, um, in that vein, I do want to switch gears to the NFL. They've been in the news per usual. Um, so first, we'll start off with the biggest news of Cam going to New England. Um, Pretty sure we discussed that as a possible option.
Oh my god, I want to interject so bad.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I had the energy like Olu just now, and it might not be fair to Olu at all. I'm not sure if I should say it out loud. Like, yeah, like we definitely skipped Breeze the last time. But let me get
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's cool. But I just had the energy the other day, and like he yelled out, "Slave wages!" But I'm sorry, I just felt like in this vision, yelling out, "Slave wages!" Trying to do something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back on mute. I apologize.
My bad, Greasy. Go ahead. Do you want to add anything to that?
It's all good because my kids can't get out of bed.
I
I was
just,
on mute anyway. Jive Time Turkeys, baby. We talking in real life. Let's go have a jive time. What was the question? Oh, I just, I guess I hope nobody dies. Like, hope nobody gets fatally sick. Hope nobody passes away. We took it the other way. And I hope it's not like a skeleton crew, referees and coaches and NBA roster because it's like half the team got COVID and LeBron, Deion Waiters, and J.R. Smith gonna be the big three because everybody else is sick. I'm going back on mute. I'm on 95, right? Instead, I just hope they don't. I mean, it's a contact sport. They're out there sweating, breathing on each other. I know these are. Yeah, brother. I know these are the healthiest of the healthy. And they got supreme health care and they got world class everything. But these is land grant Negroes. The universe don't play around, man. These are the Warriors. Yeah, like the Warriors. Like what what's the name? Like what Lou said a couple weeks ago. It was like forget the 300. If we had Giannis and we got him. So in my heart of hearts, I believe they'll be all right. But this is kind of crazy. We gotta believe in the bubble. We've been living in it. Even with the bubble, man, somebody gonna be slipping in and out of there. I honestly, when people say that, I kind of look at that sideways because I think everybody that's going is gonna be fully invested because they know what's at stake. I mean, honestly think it's more than just a three-team race with everything that's going on. Because some teams aren't going to be at full strength, and then like I saw today, the Sixers had nobody test positive, so they're going to go at full strength, and that just adds a wrinkle to it in my mind. So I think everybody's going to be fully committed. I know we asked them 3 months, other times for 2.5 months to be in there. I mean, well, 2.5 months for I guess 18. But other teams, once I guess they start getting eliminated in the 18.
they going home. They going home.
And make the playoffs, they'll be out. May I offer a conundrum? My brother? Offer up. Are you speaking in absolute? As far as them being those that are going down there are going to be 110% committed. I think so. Can you grant me the grounding that we're speaking in absolute? You said yes? Yes. And if we speaking in absolute, then we're just speaking in absolute. If that was the case, then no one would balk. There would have been no concern. There would have been no hesitation. There would have been only full and all-out applications by every individual in the league.
Right, but
so with the evidence that they are doing so, no offense to them, by what I'm saying is they have every right to do so. I would do so in my place as well. I'm only saying if that is the evidence that we're looking at, then I can't be agreeable to the absolute nature that all those that are going will be of same concern.
But so my pushback on that is that they have the option to not go. And so that's why I think those who will go, it might not be 100%, but I think it's going to be higher than 75, 80% because they have the reason to not go. I mean, David Bertrand's of the Wizards.
I agree, brother. I agree, brother.
So
And we
like,
agree on the percentages. I'll give you 98. I'll give you 98.999. I might even give you 99.99. What I'm saying is that's all it takes to get inside. That's
but
how precarious the situation is.
right. But I think that point oh one, but that point oh one is not going to do it because they'll know they'll be found out and they'll be ostracized and like. Because here's the thing, I would think. Right, I think the Rudy Gobert case is a thing of look how quickly that whole shit turned on Rudy Gobert, and like you have to have some pretty star power to think, okay, I'm gonna be able to survive this. The 15th man on the roster not gonna do it.
Here's the thing. By chance, because this is not even a thing that has to be done deviously. Like, no, this is not an act that has to be done of deceit. Like, I crept out one night and came back in. This is going to be normal state of affairs, contacting some of us semi-public with those who work there, unless they're going to be in the bubble, which I may, if they are, I apologize if I didn't know that, but all the workers that are interacting there is going to be kind of the bubble. So we're saying that, or those that may have tested negative yet with asymptomatic in some sense, I'm not sure, but like that's assuming that all the tests that were given were done correctly. So it's like a multitude of things that allow for a crack, that allow it to enter, and it's all it needs to enter because that's just how it spreads. So it's like it's actually the worst place to be if it actually has an outbreak because it's contained. So I get it, but I'm just saying how precarious it is.
I mean, I hear you on that part,
that precarious.
but my thing is, again, I've said this before. That's the same question for everybody else that they pushing back to work, and no one cares about that. So it's like we've already committed ourselves to that possibility because we're starting to open up. And I'm talking about for work. I'm not talking about for people states that open up for the bars, because that's ludicrous. But I'm talking about there are people going back into their jobs now, into their government buildings, and I'm like, those things are the same for this. And so if we've given that, we've already given into that as far as regular citizens or like everyday jobs. This is just their job. That's how I look at it.
Right? They should be protected.
And if they are getting the protections, then how can I argue? Because we're not arguing that everybody else shouldn't go back to work.
I got a question.
Mm.
Are we expecting players to break the integrity of the bubble, like no extracurriculars? No, that's what I'm saying. It's so precarious that it doesn't even require that. It's just the fact that it has to be pulled off at such a unseen style that none of them catch it. Like, I don't care. It can be like, it can be as simple as like, it can be as small as they got an outside delivery pizza and they know they weren't supposed to. I know it's like I'm saying, it can be something that small or the people that work. Like, I'm not saying it's of deceit. It's just you expect us to have 100% shutdown in this thing. And it is acceptable. But hold on. But here's the point though. It's acceptable and anticipated somebody will because they already have a workout plan for somebody does catch it. So we know going in, it's going to be an outbreak.
I don't think having a plan means is. I mean, but I don't think having a plan means you're planning for. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think part of the problem is where we are. Is
I'm with you, bro. All I'm saying, my thing is the payout has to be a world event that shifts the energy. I'm all for it. I hope it pulls off. But I'm saying the lightning for the first 6 months is that's a little shaky. But I just hope it's worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. So switching over to the Cam news. I guess for me the biggest thing in the what happened? The biggest thing in the news for me with that was just I guess I don't see the problem with Cam's contract.
Come on, fam. I'm sorry, I ain't that bet, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, no. That I mean, I knew this was coming because.
Stop. They released the news at the same time they released their penalties, bro. You know the game. Come on, we ain't got to do.
Well, that's not. But that's not his contract though. But that's not the contract. I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the contract. That's the distraction. I'm talking about the fact that they said they released the news, they signed them, and said that they admitted they killed, and they have a publicity of JT.
Well, okay. If you want to talk about that, if you.
Even still. Come on, Lou, how your opening line gonna be even still? The guy that told you they used the black man's joy with the white man's lie. Even if they gonna say even still. Because what I was gonna say, even if they use the canned news to cover that up, that wouldn't have been big news as far as it comes to the Patriots for no
Right.
reason. Because he's grown. We come to exactly. We come to not cheating. You ain't trying when it comes to the Patriots. That's just who they are.
We've come to expect that with sports. We've come to expect that with life.
That's what I'm saying. But it's a sign of the times, bro. It's so pathetic. They can release that thing and no one cares. And at the same time, they release that he got underpaid and no one really cares. That's where we are. It's like, man.
But he didn't get underpaid though. That's what. All right, that don't okay, but like just because they pick out dumb things to try to defend it is that.
I don't think that was the big thing with character. What character flaw? What has he done?
No, you're choosing to focus on that, and that's how they get to the distraction. Like, what? No, what is? Who was talking about the
No. I'm saying, look how they examine this man. Max Kellerman said on national TV, he got a little injury,
Max
but it's not
Kellerman
just
is
that.
an
It's
idiot.
more so
He's an idiot. Why are we taking Max Kellerman as like gospel?
That's the tone, bro. That's the tone. It's like, yo, chill, he's cool. Don't worry about it. He'll just earn his money. You only took motherfuckers to Auburn at the fucking national championship. You only took the Panthers to the Super Bowl.
All right, so.
They gave him no resources. I think that the last time he was healthy, he was lighting it up. But then he get a subcontract. Stop playing with me. Slave wages. Come on, yo. We not
All right, so name me the white boy. So name me the white boy that got the after being hurt for a year and a half that got a big contract.
I don't need no white boy because I got
Okay then, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, what are you talking about? He's been hurt for a year and a half. He's been hurt for a year and a half. You can't just discount that because he's black and he's Cam and he's done all these amazing things.
John Henry walked in and was like, yo, what's up with John Henry? I'm with John Henry stuff. Like, all right, John Henry, get your money, get a shot. It's John Henry. Like, we're not supposed to dudes as superheroes, and then when they say they're not worthy of being a superhero, they no longer superheroes, they're civilians. They get a land civilian slave.
Yo, you wouldn't pay top price. You wouldn't pay top price for a used car. Like, what are you talking about? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't pay the top price for a used Tesla. You wouldn't pay top price for a used Tesla. You wouldn't pay top price for a used Tesla.
They paying him like he a Toyota Camry. Who's gonna pay? It is a Lamborghini. Hey, but that the name should know who's top, bro. What the name should know who's top, man. The name should know off top. What should he see that man's worth? You pay what he's worth.
And what is he worth coming off a year and a half of injuries? And the last game, he couldn't throw to an open receiver. What? And what? All right. Now I hate to do this, but if Cam falls fat on his face, then what? Then y'all gonna say he should have been overpaid? Like so like. Cam has been well paid. What are you talking about? Cam was the last
Are there any injury concerns with Cam coming back from his injury? Is there any injury concerns with any NFL player in the NFL?
Come on, man. We talking about Cam. Don't try to all live matters it. We talking about one specific. We talking about him specifically.
We talking about Cam stuff. They all won. But when we talk about, they all can be gone in one play. Hold on, but when we talk about Cam Newton, we talking about a quarterback that plays a particular brand of football that had injury concerns the last time we saw him, right? So here's the thing. Here's the trickery of all of this stuff, right? We're breaking it down. He went to the
What? They just had Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, and you just said they couldn't protect him.
They didn't have the cap space to get him. I'm just saying they stole him in clear terms, and y'all trying to justify it. That's what I'm saying. What do we justify? That the Patriots stole him? They were on the team that gave him a contract, right? Stole him. He accepted the contract, right? Had no other choice. If that's what the Patriots offer you, who on top of that? That's not true because he could have waited for training camp or the season to start. Bro, then why did he sign now?
Because that contract.
He wanted to go to the Patriots. You gotta learn a system.
All right, man.
I think when you bring Cam Newton in, you're going to tailor your system to Cam Newton. We talking about the league MVP. Right. You talking about Cam Newton. So you need time to do that, right? Not necessarily, no. But what I'm saying is, whatever team in the league that signed backup quarterbacks to significant contracts, did any of these quarterbacks have injury concerns coming off of a foot injury for a running quarterback? Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater has not had injury concerns for the last 3 years. Okay. And the last we saw Teddy Bridgewater, he won 5 games, I believe, for Drew Brees. Are you trying to make my case for your brother? No, I'm not. But when we last... You are. Wait. Stop. You are. How so? When he decided that team, he had the same concerns. He had just separated his kneecap, bro. And they took a chance on him. And he proved they can get it done. Now, then they won...
Yeah, and they proved too. Has Cam proven it?
My question to you, brother, is why you doubted that he can't. That's all I'm asking.
Because when Teddy Bridgewater came back, he was doubted. You think he went to the Saints because he was brimming with offers? No, he wasn't.
I'm putting more weight in my brother, saying they can do this. Like, I don't have a doubt they
And
can.
I'm not saying whether or not he can or can't. What I'm saying is the contract is on par for somebody that they are saying we need to see.
We can't forget that the Panthers held him hostage too and waited till that's what we need bad at.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Why would...
They are friends. We had a commodity under control. As we don't make deals, it just gets to be a little bit too much. Because, okay, if the Panthers holding something against him, that's great, bro. You don't think all this stuff would diminish his value? You honestly don't think all these actions weren't to diminish his value so that we would accept this pussy-ass contract? I'm sorry to cuss on your podcast, fine. But look, come on, we can't keep adding up the numbers. We get to the final score, we're like, nah, come on, fam. They held this contract. Then later on in social media, they say he's not considered a top grade. They chisel away at him.
But all right, but so here's my thing. You talking like, but we're not saying any of those things that you're mentioning. You haven't brought up the injuries. You brought up stuff that we didn't say to say why Cam got the bad contract. In your eyes, that's my thing. Like, who's the one? No, Phillip Rivers just sucks in the playoffs. Like he's not injury prone at all. He just throws terrible interceptions. Injury prone means you have a history of injuries, not. Oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? Like, he don't run to get away from things. He run because he wants to run.
But I mean, he's not avoiding it. This is a different way of looking at it. This is a different way of looking at it. And that's fine. I get it. That's just a different way of looking. You look at it that he signed right. But why he didn't get signed earlier when everybody else was getting signed? You couldn't bring him in for a physical, right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
You couldn't bring him in for a physical, so nobody knew in the last one. Was he on an 8-game losing streak his last 8 games?
Well, even before that, like there's film where he's missing wide open receivers, and we can say why it is, but the fact of the matter is he still missed them. And like we can't have it both ways. Like we can't say, well, look at the film. The film tells you stuff for Colin Kaepernick, and then try to excuse the film for Cam. Like
I'm not excusing him for being hurt. He played hurt. He definitely threw terrible passes because he was hurt. He had however long to lay it off. He feels like he's in good shape. Why are we paying him what his potential could be?
Because no one will pay top dollar for something used. As people, we don't do that.
I think that it's because his character. You don't remember the got traded before he got cut. It's like we keep adding up the total, then we get the number like, that's not the right bill. Like, yo, that is the bill. Well, what I'm saying
But I think you're focused on the wrong thing.
Right? Focus on the white fragility. I mean, but let's focus on that. After he got cut, you think they had to give him a contract. After he got cut, who could give the contract that we feel that he deserves to get? Whoever trade some other people for him.
But Dre, why would you trade if you know they're going to cut him? Why would you pay for something you could get for free? What do you mean you can't? That's not how you run a business.
Listen. The question was, how would someone pay to acquire his services if they didn't have the money? The only solution that they couldn't pay out of the available funds is to trade someone to do them. I'm not saying when or where or how or when. That's what they have to do. What team do you expect to do that? Apparently, no one was willing to. That's part of
Because why would you trade for a player that you could get without trading something, without trading a proof? Like you wouldn't do that in your real life.
Because he got hurt in the NFL don't happen a lot either. He was hurt, right? That's what he said. That was what we were told was the major concern. I think that's ludicrous.
You think that's ludicrous to think if he's hurt or not?
It is ludicrous that
You think it's
no one thought he was worth it. That's ludicrous to me. He's Cam Newton, yo. And you're like, yeah, he wasn't worth it. Like, I just can't. That's contrast to me. So, like, do we know what Carolina Panthers were asking for either? Oh, that's the thing.
So you trade a first round pick for him?
What I'm saying is there's a system where Cam Newton doesn't get paid what Cam Newton's worth. And he has to prove he's Cam Newton to get what he's worth. It's asinine. That concept is asinine. I'm not talking about meticulous. I'm talking about the whole thing is asinine.
Okay, I don't.
That nobody traded for him. Yeah, he's not treated like Cam Newton.
This is not just Cam. This is not.
Who won the Super Bowl last year? A baby Cam Newton. So you take a shot.
Okay, all right.
He's an offspring of it. Big arm with mobility.
No, they don't play the same. They don't play the same. Man.
How is that a problem? How is correlating a problem, brother?
Because they're all because then you put them in a box that they all the same because they black and they run, and that's not true. You said he's a baby Cam Newton. They don't do the same things.
They don't run for the Lamar Jackson from an injury standpoint. These players are different how they play the game. But you're not going to tell me that Cam Newton and Patrick Mahomes aren't going to say lineage.
No. Patrick Mahomes is off a baseball lineage. So, all right, man. I'm not. If you want the lineage, the lineage is Russell Wilson. That's the lineage. Baseball players who come into the thing with football. You would never compare Russell Wilson to Cam. That's what I'm saying. Patrick Mahomes is not as big as Cam Newton. They run differently.
Intercorrelation of black quarterbacks. All I'm saying is, no matter which one of you pick, no matter which one you choose, they're all awesome. And you get the end of the work. And it's quite evident that the Patriots did not pay what he's worth. Giving all the risk of a knee or a shoulder, where that knee and that shoulder is way better than Tom Brady's knee or shoulder.
You can't say that because the last time we saw it, and it's recency biased, but the last time we saw it, it was not better. And it was not better for a while. It wasn't a blimp on the radar. That's why he was shut down for the entire year. He played 2 games. He didn't play a whole season. In the last 2 games, he looked hurt. I told you, if that was the case, yes, this conversation is totally different. He played 2 games and then shut it down. That was it.
Yeah, but here's my problem, Alphonse. You explained how long it takes. Fine, it took that long. But we're treating him as if he had came off the rehab in 3 months. If it took that long for him to recover, then he has to
you're assuming that it's recovery, and what everyone else is saying is that you can't assume that because of who Cam is. You can't assume that these injuries have not already started a downward spiral. You can't just assume that he's gonna come back and be super Cam because he's had a lot of time off. That's what this is.
I'm not assuming blindly he's going to be the Cam Newton that played the R or the one who took him to the Super Bowl.
But that's what you use. You said he's Cam. He should be getting paid. You said that.
Whatever status Cam Newton is, he's still Cam Newton. And that's more than $1 million guarantee and a bunch of
if he played like those 2 games of last year, no, it's not, bro. It's not. And that's the sad reality. If he plays like those 2 games last year, it is not worth more than $1 million because that Cam Newton was missing wide open receivers. And if he comes back, then yes, it is totally. But you don't pay 31-year-old quarterbacks on potential. They don't. So why is Tom Brady in Tampa then? If they pay quarterbacks on potential, why is he not in New England? Why is he not in New England? There wasn't a long line of people paying listed up for him. It wasn't like he had 10 places to go. Did he play 16 games? Did he play 16 games or did he play 2 games? Did he play 16 games or did he play 2 games? Was there more of a body of work for 2019 or what?
Yes, he played more games than the other guy, and therefore they value his potential more, right? I think it's his production.
All right. I mean, it's not potential. They're talking about this is what we're going to get. They didn't like.
Dude, it just feels eerie. It feels like we just guaranteed this is Gucci, but get it in the car, I actually had to buy it on discount at Walmart. Like, all right. But my brother made this, so I should have valued that. But it's like, nah, we should have hand me down contract. That's what I'm. I don't matter. They got 32 excuse from, bro. I know that's like the problem. And that's what it's coming down to me because it's not 32 teams to choose from because every team doesn't have an open quarterback situation. A lot of these teams have bro. 2 months ago, they was talking about Hoyer and that other young dude were like really gonna compete. Like, yeah, Hoyer gonna push him. And whoever it was, whoever the two they had now, 2 months ago, the story out of New England was like the young boy really not having it because he picked out.
And what was the response to that? No, you gotta care the response. Because if the response knew that was bullshit, then like it wasn't like they bought that shit. Just because you tell me that.
They're up against the salary cap. You do know this, right? Yeah, but they trade somebody. The Patriots need to trade somebody. I mean, they need somebody that's not that easy. They still paying Brady and Gronk, I think. But what I'm saying is, so they stole they stole them from. Got him at a discount. Okay, they got him at a discount. At the same time, he's going to play. So it's why is it okay to get Cam Newton discount? Why is it okay for any athlete to get signed at a discount? Cam didn't have to sign a contract. Apparently he did. No, he didn't have to. How much money has Cam made in his
We just have to see. We'll have to see. Because I don't think you
Now,
can make that. I don't.
quarterbacks under contract. I mean,
Like,
it's just ramifications with this trade. Yeah, the entire idea that they have ramifications about limiting how much money to give to the nigga is come on, brother. It's all about tying together. We're gonna keep it going.
I mean, it's same thing for capitalism. Same thing for capitalism, but you go to work tomorrow. I don't understand this. Why do sports have to be our guinea pigs to overthrow society?
I'm not going anti-capitalist. That's the ironic part. What I'm saying is act like a capitalist.
And the capitalist is going to get the open box special.
If you have the resource, you get the money. We keep being okay with getting the loser end of the stick. That's what I'm saying. Yes, it is capitalism. What I'm saying is we don't always have to be the one losing in this capitalistic system. Play the game then.
And the game for Cam would have been what Olu said, and when the game for Cam would have been what Olu said, and you said no, he shouldn't have done that. If the game would have been to hold out until the team needed him because somebody got hurt, that would have been the game. But you said no, he shouldn't need to do that. I don't think so, because at that point the leverage is different. They have to. They don't have a quarterback. Oh my God. All right, man. Again, and you want NFL teams to act differently. You would want NFL teams to act differently than you would act yourself. If emergency comes up in your house, do you not?
I'm gonna give y'all a list of teams that got 20+ million cap space, and the quarterback position is not solidified. That's the Jaguars. But we Chargers.
Okay, Jaguars, Chargers.
The Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts got Old Man River. The Eagles got an injury-prone quarterback. Redskins and Browns.
So, of those teams, I heard.
Can I comment on those? And I didn't count. I'm just counting teams that got.
No. Yeah. So I only heard three real expectations. Go ahead, Olu.
So I'm gonna stop at Washington. So we're talking about the coach here that had all the success with Cam, but they believe in the young quarterback that they have here. That's why they didn't bring him in. Cam Newton's not on their timeline. So why bring him in?
There was only 3 teams out of that list that would be Cam realistic destinations. The Jaguars, I guess the Chargers you could make the case for, but not really. And
Chargers got Tyrod and a rookie.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so, like the choices then bring Cam in. I don't know. I was okay with Cam not going to the Chargers.
Work well together, feeding off each other, supporting each other in this time.
I don't think they keep both of them.
And they're not gonna cut the rookie.
They're not gonna cut the rookie. So why would you want him to go to the Chargers? So why would we say that your Chargers should be somebody to sign them? I don't understand that.
But you said so we look, they're not gonna give the new rookie they gave pressure of having 2 black quarterbacks behind him chasing his ass.
They don't keep. Most teams don't keep 3 quarterbacks, Trey. Like, this is not new news.
And we can sit here and say the Browns, right? How much money do the Browns have invested in Baker Mayfield?
Too much. And then,
so I'm just trying to figure out, like, from the teams that quote unquote aren't solidified at quarterback. We talked about how many 3 teams that have significant draft capital invested in quarterback.
But then the other team that you could say is the Jags, and they're tanking for fucking Trevor Lawrence. We know they're tanking.
But we know they're tanking.
So, like, they don't want to bring Cam in and Cam be good because they want to get one of those 2 quarterbacks for next year. Trevor Lawrence or the...
Do they have a realistic chance of winning the Super Bowl?
No, because I think their defense isn't as good as it was the years they went to the Super Bowl. They gave up my fucking Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell.
And they still got AJ Bouye.
I don't know. I feel like he might have got traded. I feel like somebody else from their secondary got traded. So I think their defense is a...
You just don't. Okay, they gave Phillip Rivers money early, and the coach gave him money early in free agency. Why bring in Cam Newton after that? Okay, I know it makes no sense now. You already got Phillip Rivers, but when you got Brissett on the early, you got Brissett on the roster. We didn't know what Cam Newton. I mean, the only thing that the world was seeing was Cam Newton's Instagram post. We don't know if he was if he's we still don't know if he's healthy or not. Okay. So I'm just as far as the timeline is concerned, where was he going to get this big contract? I don't know. I mean, but we're mad at him signing the Patriots signing. No one's mad at Cam. No one's mad at Cam. No, not at Cam. About the system. We're not mad at Cam. I mean, he wants to play. He was offered a contract. He accepted the contract. But as far as the system, I think we're just going through it. Or I can see if he was coming off a non-injury season and got a raw deal from the Panthers, and now he's a free agent, and it's like, why isn't he signed? But there still were injury concerns during a pandemic, which they couldn't have their own doctors come and look at him. So they got him for a bargain. But there's an issue with him being his services being acquired at a bargain. I'm not sure he did. It's a bargain for this problem. But it was based off the situation. It was circumstances why he signed a contract for that amount of money at the end of July. I dig. And they're still taking a chance on him. That's how it is. That's how the teller's told.
All right.
But I'm looking forward to the Patriots. I mean, if we have football, I'm looking forward to seeing Cam play well for the Patriots because I think, I definitely want to win the Super Bowl too. I think from what we saw Tom Brady do with those guys last year, I think Cam, if he's healthy, he'll be a better version in that sort of type of that dink and dunk offense, getting it out of the ball, getting the hands out of the ball early, and then he has that running dimension. So if he's healthy, I think this was a very shrewd move by the Patriots, and it's going to pay off. He might not even start at the beginning of the season.
I doubt that. I think that was just talk. Like they just squelling expectations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going off of what I heard.
I don't think that's true at all.
So you think he's going to kill Cam? He's going to be a starting quarterback, you just said.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think. That, but like,
at the end of the day, he still don't have anybody to throw to. He has had a bargain.
we're not like we understand that it's a bargain, but there's levels to like there's circumstances as to why he's a bargain that are legitimate. And like to me that's a different argument than somebody like if we want to use Cap. Like to me those situations are different and those are the nuances, and for me I don't like when we just do one size fits all because one size doesn't fit all, and we as living people should understand that because we live in that nuance. And as I said before, we wouldn't buy a car even at a Tesla. If somebody sold you a Tesla and they was like, yo, I haven't driven it for whatever some amount of time, like, and they said here's the price for it, right? And it was a Toyota price. You not taking it?
I mean, the fact that you can't take it is the problem.
But are you taking it? Or are you gonna say nah? You know what? You should sell that for more money. What you will do?
I'm confused. I'm fighting for the fact that that's the problem. And think about it, commodity at such a low price. That's the issue.
But in your real life, you take advantage of it. You would take advantage of it.
I'm not saying if I would or wouldn't, but the way the power structure is, like, we always lose out.
But my thing is, you accept the power structure in your life when it's to your advantage, but in their life, we should say demolish it. My thing is, if we go demolish it all.
No, we're going to demolish it. We're saying it's paying a better wage. It's paying more money, right? I'm saying you got it on a bargain. I'm saying you got it at a bargain. If you already have all the stuff, you have all the hands. At least it's paying what he's worth. And you have all the cars.
Nobody.
And Greg Olson. Greg Olson, I mean, he was serviceable straight in there. He was better check. I mean, but that was the problem with his career. Like, but so what I'm going to say, they never put a team of weapons around him. The point that I want to make is Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees got. Who did Tom Brady have to go to last year? Oh, last year he had nobody. Except for Edelman. He had Sonny Michel, James White. I think he was getting the ball off. Oh no, they were thinking of dunking a lot. They were thinking of dunking. Sonny Michel, James White. No, because I had James White in fantasy, so I know he was getting a lot of receiving yards. They did that. They went back to the first Super Bowl when they beat the Rams. That's exactly what they did. But what I'm saying is that's basically what Cam Newton was doing with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. And then Cam Newton brings another wrinkle to it. He presents a different problem. You're not going to be able to have that extra DB on the field when Cam Newton's playing. Absolutely not. Oh, look, are you trying to make my point right now? Because all I'm doing a good job. It's not I'm past the money. I'm past how long he got signed, the power structure, and all that. Your point was made on that, but now I'm talking football. Because who does he have to throw to? The same people that Tom Brady had to throw to last year. That they made the playoffs. I mean, they went to the defensive round of the playoffs. The defense carried them. But at the same time, the defense in the running game carried them. All right, but Cam Newton, I keep saying running game. Tom Brady still, how much? Tom Brady passed for a significant amount of yards last year. He didn't play too well his last 10 games. Okay, that's all well and good. But Cam Newton, with those things, I think he could surpass what they did last year. Oh, I agree. Trust me, I agree. I'm just putting that out there. Like, he's not out there throwing the Randy Moss or nothing like that. Well, nah, he's not throwing the Randy Moss. I mean, I don't even feel like that would even be a point of conversation, but because a lot of people are already talking Super Bowls, like, wait a minute, you still got the Ravens, you still got the Chiefs. Like, you can't just pencil them in. I think you can pencil them into possibly into the championship game. That's fine. But I can't say people just like going straight to winning the Super Bowl. Nah. Anybody saying that's not, they're talking. But somebody said something in the background. I didn't hear it. Was that sideline guy? Sideline guy. I can't take a. You said what? You said they did the divisional. What round? They got the divisional last year. I'm saying they can make it to the championship round. The AFC championship.
I think that's a bit much. Championship round.
Trust me, my feelings are complicated because I'm rooting for them, and that's the wrong team to root for.
I mean, so yeah, like we can move off. Let's move off. I want to move off the Cam point, cause I want to talk with that. I don't got. Look. I mean, I don't really care. I don't care. But yeah, I don't.
I don't think I've ever disliked the Patriots. I mean, I really have. I can't like, oh, I don't like.
All right, so I mean, I don't dislike them. Yeah.
They get caught cheating like red-handed, like videoing the other team, like putting guy in the other team's uniform and other team's apparel and like sending them to take their practice, like.
So you do realize like.
And nobody ever is going to discount any of the winning they did. When they won some close games in the Super Bowl, like real close.
Name me the last blowout Super Bowl.
They won some one-score game Super Bowls, and a lot of them by one score. And nobody go discount how much they've been cheating.
Cause they all cheating, Shannon. They all cheating. The Patriots pushed the envelope of cheating, but don't get it twisted. All those teams are doing the exact same thing. That's why with Spygate, that's why it got found out, and none of the other teams except the Jets were really gung ho about it.
You can't say the exact same thing. You cannot say that when they set
Right. So do they need to
The Mongols.
like?
We gonna hold them. The Mongols.
Come on, man.
He was like, oh no, they just super cheaters. Come on, man. Wait, wait. That's why are the Patriots at a Browns Bengals game? Who knows what they gonna do? But who cares? Why are they there? So it's the Michael Jordan approach.
No, it's knowing. No, it's they all are doing it. So you are hating the people that won. Come on now. Come on now. They all are doing it. They not do. And my reference for this is the in baseball. Everybody was coming down on the Astros. Da 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 da. And lo and behold, the motherfucking Yankees was doing the same goddamn shit. They just wasn't as the Astros did it better. They was doing the same shit as the motherfucking Astro, and the Yankees just didn't do it as better. Yes, they had all that shit. The Yankees just it took like a game or so for it to come back, and the Astros was in real time. So the Yankees on their high horse, Aaron Judge. So to me, once that happened, like all y'all cheating, it's just the Astros got caught, and they were better at it than you because the Yankees, yours was in 2017, so it wasn't back far in the history. It was recent, and they came on their high horse, and it's like you doing the same shit.
So the Yankees, like when they saw the
Oh,
sign, they was getting a buzz
London.
of what's coming, a fastball or off speed.
Not the
They was
same day.
they
It
was
was
getting
like
electrocuted.
it was no that's real time. But it was like all right the next day
Okay,
or
do
later in
you
the.
see the difference? They were cheating.
So because the Patriots did it better, it's a problem. But I mean because the Astros did it better than the Yankees, it's excusing the Yankees, and the Yankees could be on their soapbox. The Yankees could get on their soapbox and be like, I got robbed of this and I got robbed of that, just because their cheating wasn't as good. I don't understand.
They made up a fake TV show to record the Bengals football game, man, on their sideline. I don't know anybody going that far, man. I know you stealing signs and whatnot, and you
All right.
to determine what they're doing, but that's crazy, man. The Bengals.
Okay. All right. You can think that.
But back to my original point. The Patriots, the Patriot way, we can't say. Well, no, I can't say it's a Patriot way. Like Patriots way, they play good football. I mean, we can't. They do. They play sound, fundamental football. They do. But looking at them, I mean, we can go past fundamental for certain years where they were, beating the level off the football on both sides of the ball. But looking at them, I'm like, say, oh, I hate the Patriots. Nah, I can't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Also,
I got no problem with their fans.
well, I mean,
That's like every franchise in the league.
right? I'm about to say like,
I don't know.
come on now.
That's not what the Browns. The Browns gave their fans know that they were fans. I don't know about that, man. I mean, but
I was about to say like, come on now. I'm about to say.
They already on the radio coming out talking about Cam is too flamboyant. He can't play for this team. Yeah, New England. The little stiff sports radio guys they got over there talking about he better not Superman. Belichick's not gonna let him Superman. And
Right. I mean that's.
a whole bunch of
But like,
just ridiculousness.
I mean, we know it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying not to give energy to like stupid people, like because it's a lot of stupid people. Like I don't know if I have the energy to fight all the stupid people in the world. Like that, it's a tough task.
I feel like they got a lot, man.
I mean,
I think that's every fan base in fucking NFL.
I mean,
In sports, period.
I'm a
You
cop.
gonna keep playing for these damn slave wages?
Hey man, we all taking slave wages, man. We all doing it. We all doing this shit. Shit. I just pulled up ESPN, and yeah, I forgot baseball is coming back. I don't.
They reported today, didn't they?
I think so. I think they were starting to. But the biggest thing I
Hail Mary.
kind of want to talk about is like they closed down their minor leagues, so they have a huge thing to think about because like minor league, and that's tied to their contracts, and it's already a contentious thing with the players union and the league, and so I don't know, like I don't know what the hell that's gonna do.
What part is after the contract?
So like with rookies, like if you don't get some time in the majors, you get paid less for longer, and you don't get to free agency or your big contract um, after a certain amount of time. And so in some way,
There's a net service deal.
yeah, it's a like terms of service or some shit they call it. And
Oh,
so
terms of conditioning.
yeah, in some ways like it could help because some people might be able to get into the major leagues quicker. Um, but like if you on a team that's like don't really need you, like and they would just was like go bring you up to get some at bats, and that would have started your clock. Nope, you just not really gonna be playing because they have no need for you to start your clock with them. The season only being 60 games, so I think that
Is there an actual movement that's is there a notion that that won't be like either like pardoned or something? Like they're not gonna address that? Or just doing what they want?
the only reason they're playing is because the commissioner of the league said, "Look, this shit is happening. Here's the date. I don't like figure out the pay." Other than that, if the commissioner didn't come in and say, like, "All right, y'all players really want to play. Y'all calling my bluff. Okay, here's the start date. Figure out the payment because this is happening." I don't think they'd be playing. So I don't think they're any like friendlier at the negotiating table. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. This shit is just it's gonna be crazy. Now they gotta like change the rules. Um, yeah,
What
shit.
rules?
Well, like, uh, well, they got a three batter rule. Um,
The DH rule.
the DH rule. No pitchers are batting anywhere. Um, all relief pitchers got to face a minimum of three batters and extra innings. Each team begins with a runner on second base. Like,
Oh, they gonna make this game better.
yeah, I mean, you hope so.
Yeah, he was like, yo, go on, you trying to do Bravado. Let's get it right now. This truncated, I think, is going to be a boon for baseball, actually, because it kind of removes the lazy days of summer. Like, it's more of an emphasis on, it's more like the NFL. Like, every game is really going to count.
That's true.
But I think it's even more than that, though. I mean, it's to that point more. And now we actually have time to slow down and watch it because we ain't got nothing else to do. So like that whole is it too slow, is it too fast? They're making us breaking it down with the rules, which is cool, but they had to. But just the fact that we can actually have time to sit back and watch it, we can actually be on the like we could do a live broadcast of watching the game, and we got time. You know what I'm saying? More so than we like ripping and running and going out.
That's true, but like, I don't. I don't.
You had when's the last time you watched some sports? You tell me you out here watching these races?
No, 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 no. No, one.
You watching golf matches?
No, I'm actually not.
Like
Like,
when that baseball comes, we'll sit on back and watch.
I mean, I was just bristling at the idea of doing a podcast on a baseball game. Like, that shit might be boring as hell. I mean, I'm probably gonna watch it. You know.
It's going to be a greater emphasis. It's just, yeah. Well, was kept on. Yep. Every game matters. Every game matters. Like hey, yes, make the hashtag so we can get the property right. Those 60 games is like, oh my God. And if a team gets hot and just stays hot, say the first 40 games, it's like.
So that leads me to a question I just thought about. If a if a if a quote unquote bad team or a team that was projected to be bad wins the World Series, is there an asterisk by it? Let's say the Padres, who were supposed to be pretty bad, let's say they get hot, and we've seen that. We've seen a team start out in April and May, be hot, and then come the end of the season, you look at the standards, and they only got like 60 wins or some shit. So like,
I think all asterisks are good. Any and all asterisks are good. I'm not looking at them negative in any way.
I mean, I tend to agree with you. Like, it's just as like, I mean, if we were doing the Disney movie to this, to all the sports, like the title would be, and this goes off, the title would be When Sports Save the World. And so I don't think it'll be asterisk by it. Like, at the end of movies when they do the words on what happened, like, it'll be like, these teams won the championships and da 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 da. But I think you're right. I think it won't be any asterisks negatively.
Like my man said on Apollo 13, I think this is going to be NASA's greatest moment.
True. True.
But yeah,
True.
I'm really not. I'm honestly, just since we started talking about baseball, I've gotten almost excited baseball as I have gotten for the restart of the NBA season, honestly. I've just got to psych myself up on that. When does it start?
What? Baseball. Hold up. I just had it. I think it's the end of the month.
Yeah, the games start like the same week, I believe. Wait, they both gonna be at the end of the month?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They both gonna be towards the end of the month. Huh? You know what? Another thing that I'm excited about. Another thing I'm excited about the NBA. The, the scheduling of the games during the day while we're home. Like we get NBA basketball like in the afternoon. That's like I haven't had that since like Vegas. You know, waking up in this
Summer League.
basketball. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Man, that's the best. Summer League. You just put the games on. Now it's like Summer League games with like actual people you know.
Exactly like summer league. Yep.
Um.
You know that makes a shift.
If because baseball and NBA be on at the same time.
Nah, you know, like when we think about, sorry, I'm on a tangent. When we think about, like we kind of had a talk like who could replace NBA or make a new league like NBA, and what we kind of do like, oh, we'll never can match this certain level, it can never be as big as Staples Center, it can never be as big as Madison Square Garden, you got across from small.
Mm-hmm.
When we're watching this on our couches, and ain't nobody really around it like that. It'll give us my inspiration to realize that we don't need that much space, and we can pack the house with all the people that be Black Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's one. I think it might spark an idea of how to shape the future of basketball. So you can maybe bring a pipeline of those AAU players that come through college, and they can see how it doesn't have to be this big mammoth thing. It can be more contained, and we can make them more alive. So I think that might be a shift too.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is the sponsors. So like that's the biggest thing with starting a new league, like the sponsors and the
You don't think we can get the sponsors for?
the media, the TV time. I
You think
which
we
I,
can get there?
no, I think no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that these are the hurdles to be thought about. So I'm not disagreeing. I'm thinking like TV contracts, ads. I think we can. I think with the things going on YouTube, with them putting on games on YouTube, it does open up that avenue for it. Um, yeah, so I think I'm just saying the things that should be thought about, or like sometimes. I mean, for me, I think sometimes people don't, not you, but other people be like, oh yeah, it's just simple to just they should just start their own league, and it's like it's not that simple. Like it's a lot of work that goes into it, and like once you start telling the people all the other things behind the scenes, then they're like, oh, and it's like, all right, you didn't think these things would just happen magically, but
But I wasn't saying things. I wasn't like thinking like immediate. It's just when like somebody's gonna think about this. I think this is how the basketball may look in the future. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Maybe the league will mimic how this setting is going to be. Even when the NBA returns to having the big arenas, I think it'll be another league that kind of mimics what this is going to feel like.
Well, so they have the TBT tournament, and I think that's still going on. I think that starts this weekend, as a matter of fact. Um, and so like that's been going on for I think this is the fourth year, and so I think this is the third year of a $2 million cash payout to the winning team. Um, so I mean there are things in the works. Uh, it's just when you get the current best players to switch over, that'll be the thing that changes it, I believe, the most. So Um, I guess we can go ahead and go into Go Talk for this episode. Um, I need to go back and actually think of mine. So if anyone
Again,
wants
go
to go
talk.
first, yeah, if you got one,
Oh yeah, I definitely have one.
all right, you go ahead and go first.
I want to bring up Will Chamberlain. Um, Go talk this week. There was, I guess, on the heels of the Last Dance, there was an issue between. I don't. Did Mike? This was a previous conversation where Mike was saying that he was playing the quality of his opponents in his day, why he's setting all those records.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we talked about that.
While he was playing, especially specifically when he was playing with the Philadelphia Warriors, he was playing for the Harlem Globetrotters simultaneously. So it's not that. So they're just like, okay, he was playing against 5'10", 5'6" white guys, in the NBA, but he was playing for the Globetrotters. I mean, also have the same games in the same day. He would drive from wherever the Globetrotters were playing, well, from Harlem, because they weren't traveling then, back to Philadelphia to play games, or even up to Boston in the same day, up and down the East Coast. And it's just like he was still able to do that and produce in the NBA at the levels that he was producing at. And then even before the NBA, there was one point that somebody spoke about Bill Russell and his athletic prowess as a track and field athlete. Will Chamberlain was right there with him. He ran cross country, I believe, and he was, I think, the high jump. And I just wanted to point that out. Like we don't give big men enough credit in the GOAT conversation. I brought up Kareem before, and not only for what he's done on the court in the NBA, but what he did in college and high school, and then his social, what's the word I'm looking for? What he did
social stance.
Socially. But then we say, okay, so Will off the court. We know what Will did off the court. So he definitely got to get in the conversation. All right, but that's my coach.
All right, all right.
How you supposed to follow that up?
I mean, I was gonna try. You want to go? I mean, I was gonna try, but if you want to go, Greasy, you could go ahead.
I ain't got nothing after that.
All right. I guess for me, my go talk. We talked about baseball. There was a tweet I saw that had a scene from A League of Their Own. That had the black uh, female baseball players who weren't allowed in the league, I don't believe, but they threw a pitch like from the outfield and it hurt the girl hand. But that just got me thinking about one of my favorite players of all time, Satchel Paige. And this goes back like from when I used to play baseball. But I just remember reading his autobiography and like just like he was like a great pitcher, phenomenal pitcher. But just thinking of like how Major League Baseball like just didn't allow them in, so we don't know how good he could have been with all of those like against the major leagues because by the time he got to the major leagues, he was well within his 40s. I mean, not well within his 40s. He was 42. Um, and so he still, he still did his thing. But I just wanted to show some shine out to Satchel Paige, one of the greatest players in the Negro leagues, and they eventually made it to play with the Cleveland Indians. So just wanted to give some knowledge of him.
Leroy Robert.
Yep.
Yo, Shannon, you got something?
Nah, he said he don't.
Okay. Well, just do the weekly tribute to the GOAT, the one and only. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on that $100 million media corporation, or whatever that is you got. Look forward to hearing your scripts, to hearing it, to producing Salute to the GOAT. There's multiple GOATs, only riding one.
Well, I mean, I think I think we found a way to have a proper dismount, proper exit. I think that whole segment of Go Talk was a perfect way to end it. So, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this episode. Spirited discussion as always.
We're really calling it slave wages, right?
I mean, we know what it is. That's why I'm a big proponent of HR 40. You know, they already still paying us slave wages. You know, but I guess shout out to DC for the making minimum wage $15 an hour. So you know, yeah, that started today, July 1st. Um, but that fits with slave wages. Again, slave wages. See, slave wages. So again, it all ties in.
Nah, you can't say that, Dre. You can't get on set for the fact that you be doing the same thing. Oh no. I know. Oh, I know. I just was surprised that I didn't nail it again. So I was like, you made it clear. I didn't say anything stupid. This discriminatory thing right now. And it's true. I was like, oh. I was like, livable wages. Oh, fucking not minimum wage. Livable wages. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all.
Nah, I mean, look, we could spend hours on that. Like,
Oh, we weren't. I thought you were about to. Okay.
I know we can. I mean, I'm all for it because, you know, look, I'm a teacher and you talk about livable wages, like it's a very real conversation, especially when you want to talk about
Teachers can't afford to live in DC.
when you want to talk about owning property in the place that you teach. So, you know, I'm right there with it. Trust me, I understand. I understand. It's, so, but hey, that ain't stopping from condos being built. They still going up. I don't.
I feel like the Hulk. I'm about to go Lord. Oh, ain't stopping them from defunding education. Oh God, we get Cam Newton contracts all over again.
In certain parts of the city, in certain parts.
Getting Tom Brady contracts.
Yeah. So.
Why you hurt? What put crack in the neighborhood? Huh? What did Brady sign for?
25 a year.
25 what?
25 mil a year, I believe.
5 years.
I think he got 2 years, 50 million or 53 or something. Yeah. No, the second year is completely. Think he can be cut. Yeah, it's one of those. We just got you for one. Yeah. It's one of those fake money joints.
The first year's fully contracted, fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I guess the comparison.
Wait. I'm sorry, Olu. Wait. You telling me they paying this dude 25 million guaranteed, and all he gotta do to get another 25 million guaranteed is end the season in some productive fashion?
No, not necessarily. No. That it's not. If he plays well, then he's gonna sign another longer contract. It's similar to.
If they go 8-8, what are they doing? I'm just asking. I'm not even being smart.
If they go 8-8 and he's terrible, they're yeah. They're not.
About Brady's play rather than the team play.
Yeah.
They're not trying to build with him.
No, they're not. But they also are trying to like.
So they're trying to win now. No, I'm saying, and if they average, what they gonna do?
They go get rid of him.
Average year, what they gonna do? They gonna give him another 25 million?
I don't think so. It depends. I don't think they gonna give him another 25 million. This is one of those like at the end of the year we'll see what you will do, and we could walk away. We could walk away without owing a bunch of money against our cap.
Speaking of that, will come true. I think so. I think that's more probable what you just said. To be honest. Okay, but I think so. You gotta do the Elway essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not one of those like he's guaranteed to get that second year. He gotta.
I think if he plays, but it's set up for him to play well. That's the.
Right, that's why they were.
Are you trying to set me off? Trying to set me off. I mean, you know, instead of saying to play well, that's the entire thing she had been saying all night. They don't never set it up for the brothers to play well, but you gotta play well. It's never been set up for the brothers. No, it's rarely off. It's not off. It's not off at all. I mean, it's never. I mean, I don't know the last time, but you talking about. I think Randall Cunningham on his comeback. Yeah, that was the one time. Yep, that's what I know about. They say, hey, brother, we got some assets you should come play with. He's like, yeah. Or it's been like, hey, no, Randall was a backup. He was the backup. Let's get that. Brad Johnson
got hurt, I thought.
Out in the first year, Brad Johnson got hurt, and then Randall came in.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's by circumstances. Well, they don't maybe make it better. I mean, all right, let's take that back then. Yeah, by circumstance.
I mean,
You
they
got
don't.
one that was legit. I'm just asking. I'm just being. I mean, it's the NFL with black quarterbacks. I mean,
But it's
just surprises.
I mean, it's quarterbacks in general. They just don't do NFL teams in general don't do well with this position. Like, I think we have a long enough history, regardless of color.
Quarterback that they set it up for. It's right there with the Vikings. Dante Culpepper.
I mean, I was thinking that like, yo, Dante got. It was like we have this, we need this type of quarterback.
Before Bill O'Brien bumped his head this offseason, Deshaun Watson had it pretty good too. Yeah, he did. The offensive line was.
Yeah, I'm about to say that line was always kind of was dookie. Right?
You know something I did want to bring up? We talked about the lineage of Cam Newton. Yeah. You know who I think is Cam Newton light, and he's light? Josh Allen. He plays like Cam Newton to me. Who, the Jaguars quarterback?
No, the Bills quarterback. So, Bomani Jones. Bomani Jones said if Josh Allen's name was Jamarcus Allen, he'd get the Cam treatment, and it's totally true.
That's true.
Even if he was white, though, it's just his name. Even if he was white, I still think he'd get that Cam treatment. I mean, he's barely holding on now. Like, everybody's not high on Josh Allen.
Coaches.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, coaches are stupid. Like, again, we have enough history to know that, like, regardless of color, NFL coaches are just stupid.
Black guy plays. They went to the playoffs. Then they got tired of him bringing the white guys to run. Black guy plays, and now they good with him.
I mean, it's not that simple. Like, y'all just want to keep making it a thing like that. Like, one is younger than the other. So one, you looking at 10 years versus 5 years.
I got another quarterback that's got a pretty good situation. Black quarterback, Kyler Murray. Oh, you got a lovely situation. Because he has a young coach. Now he does. You got a young coach, right? I mean,
He had a decent situation before. The situation wasn't terrible.
No. I'm saying a young coach knew to get his star quarterback. He was paying him.
No. I thought he was saying. I'm talking about what Shannon was saying.
Oh, what Shannon said?
Shannon was like, now it was like he's always had it. The biggest problem for Kyler Murray.
Because look at last year, the coach that he had was not proven. Like, they just picked him because he's beautiful.
We're not talking about that because I'm not talking about the coach. On the field, he had enough weapons around him.
The coach has something to do with it too. Kingsbury, why you get beat it out?
No, the coach had nothing to do with it. They had already went. Like, the coach didn't pick those players.
I'm saying with the situation you put a quarterback in, the coaching has a lot to do with it as well as the roster.
I thought we were talking about the roster, like the roster construction and the roster, like having the talent.
I'm talking about both.
But all NFL coaches are stupid. So one's not smart, and like they're not really that smart.
The ones that are smart, just their ego is too big for them.
So to me, those.
Had a pretty good situation.
You said who?
Who? RG Bob. When they drafted the dude is the same draft they drafted another quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. No, the owner didn't draft the other quarterback.
No, the owner wanted Bob.
And in any other situation, you do what the owner says. And I mean, and that's why like they should have been fired immediately. Like they should have been fired immediately because.
Who, the Shanahan's?
Yes. Why? Because you don't sabotage the owner's pick, and it wasn't like the owner was wrong.
I don't think they sabotaged.
Yes, they did.
I don't get picked.
They picked a quarterback in the third fucking round. What do you mean they didn't sabotage him?
What? Let's not forget that they tailored their whole offensive scheme to Robert Griffin.
And then put him back in the game when he should have told him to sit his ass down. Come on, man. They did that on purpose.
Hold on. Because Chris Cooley was actually talking about this on the radio this morning. He said Mike Shanahan he's known for giving his players that one shot. Like, do you think you can play? We know who RG3 is. He said he could play. He went back
my thing is they not putting him in if they don't have somebody they believe in that is better than him anyway. It's no loss for them by doing that. They would. That's my thing. Like, yo, you protect the investment. Like, nah, yo, just sit down. That's cool. We get it. You've done enough. We know you want to play. I'll take the hit for you not playing. But sit down. Yes. Like, sit down. Sit down. Like, you need to sit down. But they have that person that they picked in the third round that they think is actually better suited for their offense, which they've said on record many times, is in many articles. They believe Kirk Cousins was better for that offense they quote unquote built for RG3. They believe Cousins was better, so they don't care if RG3 get hurt. They believe Kirk Cousins was better. They believe Kirk Cousins was better, and they used that fucking game against the Browns as proof of it, and that's why RG3 got so fucking mad. Because he could see the writing on the goddamn wall.
But that was in 2000.
Nope, that was before he. The what is that second? It might have been the second. No, it might have been the first year.
It wasn't the first year.
So the second year, but that was before he went to the owner.
But was that the second year?
Yeah, that was the second.
When he got the game where he got re-injured.
The second year the first year he got re-injured, but then the second year when he
was his rookie season.
Right, and when he did 2013,
he rushed back and played all in for week 1.
No, I thought that was his third year. Because he got injured in the Baltimore. When did he get injured in the Baltimore game? What year was that?
That was the rookie year. That's when he first got injured. That was the initial injury when he got.
But when did he have the?
Right, Naga? When Olodi Naga hit his leg. That was the rookie year, and he came back. The playoff season was the rookie year.
But when did he get into? When did he go to Snyder? I thought that was his third year, and I thought that was after the Cleveland Browns game.
The third year, that was Shanahan's were gone. They only coached it 2 years. His first 2 years.
So then that means Gruden. So whenever that Cleveland Browns game is,
where he got re-injured,
and he didn't play, and Kirk Cousins balled out.
That was a whole nother game. He got re-injured in the Cleveland Browns game against. He hurt his ankle on the sideline against the Browns in one game, and then Kirk Cousins came in for him.
Right, but he wanted to play after that, and that's when they was like, we think we got it good here with Kirk.
That was the Shanahan's. I think that was Gruden. End of the day, you can't count that one. He don't count. But no, he had a roster. The Redskins had a good roster for him. Is what I'm saying. But the coaches didn't have his back. That's all well and good. But we just talking about the quality of the players on the roster. Okay, that's cool.
So I mean, I don't know. I don't think there are a lot of situations. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. The biggest problem with the Arizona situation is who they're in the division with.
Yeah.
That's their biggest problem.
Absolutely.
Like, they're in a division with two studs, and so if they were in a easier division,
the Rams not that bad either.
Right. So.
I mean, they just went to Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But look like they got Jared's number. Look like the NFL they caught up with him on film. I think Todd Gurley's regression was a big part of that.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that too. But if you can't read a defense, just don't get set until they get under center. Yeah.
I mean, but how are you supposed to read a defense that don't get set? Like, what? You just got a bunch of motherfuckers running around, and if they know what they're doing and you don't, like, I mean, well, but like, well, nah, I mean, it wasn't like the motherfucking.
And Russell Wilson.
Wait, you said who? Oh, Antonio. Well, he's not going there.
You don't think so?
Nah.
What's that?
I don't think Antonio Brown goes to Seattle.
Who?
Antonio Brown.
AB. I don't know. I mean, Russell Wilson is like flat out asking for him.
Nah, well,
And
I
that's
don't.
no, that's a funny thing because they gave Antonio Brown 9 million for one game last year.
Well, that's
Yeah,
because that's because
that's
that
what they
off
do.
the but that's because that off the court stuff started. That was too much. They couldn't sit through
No,
that.
I just know Trey would have had a field day with that.
So
But, you know what I'm interested in seeing with Josh Gordon though.
yeah, they yeah.
I think he might be coming to town. He had
Okay.
his best year at Scott Turner. You think so? Yeah, I mean that Cleveland season, Scott Turner was on the staff in Cleveland that year. Him getting suspended like 6 times. Well, you know, we live in different times now. You know, marijuana isn't it's not even really frowned upon anymore. He should. It's a shame he ever got suspended that many times. But yeah. But all the reports he's working. Because he look like he just keep getting bigger. Well, you know, possibility. If they have a season, I'm excited for the NFL. I'm excited for sports. Usually, New England is your last stop. Like it usually fades after that.
If you're bad,
Belichick can't get you right.
nah, yeah. If you're bad, but I feel like some people leave Cleveland
Well, yeah,
and
some people did leave. Richard Seymour left.
yeah,
Vince Wilfork left.
yeah.
Well, I was talking about like, you know how you if you watch out, yeah, Ocho Cinco.
I mean, but that don't mean the Patriots don't get stuff out of them.
Oh yeah, no question.
I mean,
I mean, did
fuck.
he play good in one game?
Who?
Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
Touchdown.
but I mean, shit. We were saying they was never gonna lose. We were saying they was never gonna lose when he was there. We said they.
Brady was pissed, so you know it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. I hope we have it. I hope we have sports. I think.
My one drawback is, man, just night before the game, breaking news, such and such got COVID. They're not gonna be able to play. I'm like, man, this is.
Well, I mean, that's why if I was a gambler, I wouldn't gamble on sports this year. I would not be gambling on sports at all because.
And then somebody like show up to the game like, oh no, the test was a false positive.
Right, and they like, nah, nigga. But then in the back of their mind, they get their call at home like from their bookie, like, yo, you better tell them it's a false positive. You better warm your head up before you walk in. You better have a heating pad and cooling pad in it, something, cause right, you better cool yourself down, like. Cause I had the AC on, man. I was fixing the AC at home. My bad. Like, that's why I gotta get in here, get these shots up, yo. I gotta get these shots up, warm my hands up. Let me in, yo. So I just I don't do gambling in normal times, but I damn sure won't be doing it in a pandemic. Like, you got to be.
They probably got the cure anyway.
I mean, if they had the cure, they would have been put that out there because they need to be making money. Like, Florida is messing up everybody's money. Florida and Texas. Yeah, Arizona is the one I don't get. Like, yo, man, y'all ain't even shit to do out there. Like, y'all don't got no cities that slap like that.
The heat will kill it. They try to put it to the test.
Yeah, they said the heat might kill it, but that ain't mean you gotta go get in pools and shit with other people. Like, fuck, man. Shit. And now I gotta probably have to teach school virtually again. Not my favorite thing.
We're working out together. Y'all do that?
AB and who?
You did say that?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you said that. I thought they just were saying that they. I know Russ had asked for, but I didn't know they had been working out together. Didn't the NFL ask them to stop? Like Russ said, the NFLPA.
I thought they asked Brady.
They asked Brady. I mean, they asked Brady and Russell. Just kind of like, I'm Tom Brady, and
I do what I want.
Brady been OD with it though, man. Just walking around people's houses and all up in the park.
Look, man, he got away from that Patriot way. He's like, yo, I'm out here. I don't even know what to do.
Father time on his neck.
Man, he's 40 years old.
He's 42, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't play till he's 50.
Why
That's
not?
what he wanted to do.
Why not? If he ain't got to run, all you got to do is sit back there and pass it. They can put him in shotgun. Why not?
I want to also give a rest in peace shout out to Joe Bugle,
Oh, yeah.
the architect of the Hogs, Washington football team, offensive line through the 80s into the 90s.
I give a shout out to that.
Rest,
Rest in peace, you know.
no question.
So, but I think we've extended long enough. The PS version.
For the next go round.
Indeed, indeed. So once again, thank you, fellas. Thank you everybody for taking the time to listen. Leave us some feedback. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, peace.